So this is still the continuation of the brake side of this rear differential of the 750 brute force that I have, which is, it's actually at my buddy's camp. That's my Sportsman 500 HO, which I ride less. Anyways, all right, so back to this. So I remember saying something about the spring action on this lever here. So I think that's all created with the balls. So there's those 6 little balls there, and when this pivots out, when this plate pivots, it actually moves up, and it runs into these. It runs into the cover. I mean, so it's spring loaded. It uses the balls. What the heck? Yeah, I don't really know what I'm talking about, I guess. But I mean, this seems pretty ratty. This plate is all. Why would it be galled up? I mean, it's all. I'm gonna clean this up a little bit. This edge is all chattery, which really I don't know why. It shouldn't be. I wouldn't think it's really gonna make a difference, but I'm gonna clean this up. I have steel wool. That's what I'll probably use. It feels smoother. I'm going to hit it on the wire wheel real quick. The whole thing is just kind of chattery. I don't know. I'm going to clean it up. I obviously have steel wool all over the place now. I'm going to put it back in place. Shit. Yeah, I know. I'm sorry I wasted your time. Fast forward that. Shit. I apologize. So I'm just gonna spray a little bit of shit. Doesn't look very clean, does it? I don't see why. My hands are all dirty. So I'll throw that guy back in place. Yeah, it's about as clean as my hands are, huh? Which, I guess at this point, aren't very clean. I'm gonna start putting this thing together. So these pins, there's like a little standoff in between that one pin. or these in between these two studs here, so you can tell where it goes. I think it can only go one way pretty much anyways. I mean, no, it can go different ways, but any other way, you'll lose the pin. I mean, the spring will come out. This way, you know, the pins are standing tall. So these guys are like little brake pads. They are worn, but there's still some meat on them. So, you know, if it was worn all the way down, I'd probably replace them, but they're not. So we're gonna put them back in place. Shit. Where am I here? So this is gonna have to go like. Like that, right? It does. Not a brake pad per se. Another plate. I don't know why they have all this stuff. They couldn't. Oh, what's that? Oh, it's just hair. I think that's my dog. This plate looks like it's crappiest. Yeah, well, this is obviously the top plate. It has the holes that locate this all together. So it pretty much has to go a certain way. This is the wear side. I mean, I don't see why you couldn't flip it, but I'm not going to, because it's not worn so bad that it's galled up or anything. It feels pretty good. Crap! Yeah, I'm not great with bugs. Alright, there we go. So she's in there. Man, it feels like it's... It doesn't feel quite right. You know why? It's not quite right. There's a... this disc right here. Wait a second. This guy can't be like this. Huh. That's not going to work out for me, is it? No, that's not right either. Oh, heck. Alright, what not to do. So this guy popped out. Put the pins back in. Put the springs back in. So this guy popped. This guy came out. That's what was giving me that uneven feel. You know what? I'm gonna get a 2x4. I know, it's kind of dirty. Put all this crap, all these plates back on. Oh. Yeah, that's it. So now I'm able to push this all the way down so they're below the surface of the housing. Just because this guy had popped out of its spot. Jeez. I don't know how you're gonna keep that in place though. Man, that's freaking. It just seems really tight, but. Alright, so that's it. That's all she wrote. Now we're gonna put this. Oh. So the seal's got it on. Question is, do I put any sealant on there? Grease, maybe? Or do I just leave it dry? That's a question that I'm not certain of. I'm gonna see what the book says. I know, this is way too long. I apologize. So, it doesn't say anything about this gasket except install new gasket. I didn't buy a new gasket, and I don't intend to. So they must be talking about 11 inch-pounds. I mean, who's got a torque wrench that does that? So those are those two really small screws, Phillips head screws. And it does say use Loctite. I'd use the blue stuff maybe. But my question still is, should I put some sort of silicone on here to make sure it seals well? I You don't want to put too much silicone on there because it gums shit up, messes things up pretty bad if you overdo it. I'd rather not use it at all, but I think I'm going to. Alright, so I decided against the silicone for this gasket. I'm just going to use that red grease, general purpose, crappy grease, cheap grease. And I'm going to I'm going to put a coat on, probably relatively fine. And it'll probably just get all squeezed out. Probably won't do much anyways. I just don't see any damage to this, and I don't think it's going to see a lot of pressure. Any pressure whatsoever, right? Anyways, alright. I'm going to throw some grease on this. Slap this thing back into place. And mount it back up onto where it belongs there. On that front diff. Okay. It's the rear diff. Looks like the front part of it, Anyways. Grease. Now. Okay, I just set it on there. I put red grease on where it should be shutting off against the mating half. And I hope for the best. So now I'm going to put these two little screws on. Hopefully I can find the other one. And I'm going to get the blue Loctite, just touch it, and then tighten it up by hand. Not too tight. It's aluminum, remember, and those screws are really small. Alright, so I Loctited these two screws in place. I did have to kind of like put pressure down on there to hold it in place while I screwed those down. I didn't torque them down, obviously. I just used a screwdriver. This is a pretty beefy screwdriver. I didn't give it the beans. I just snugged it up. Since it's got Loctite in it, I think it's going to hold. Should be fine. Alright. Alright, so that's pretty much all set. I'm going to set that aside for now. And I will concentrate on the ring gear side, the main housing here, where the ring gear sits in. I am not going to change out that needle bearing there. It's hard to tell whether if it needs to be or not. But I don't know how I would manage knocking that thing out without damaging the casting. I mean, how do you get that sucker out of there? Yeah, I just threw some grease on it. I want to see what the book says to how to remove that. I'm leaving this on there too. I know. I said I was going to remove them all. It's not going to happen. Feels way too smooth. Feels really good. There's no slop. There's no noise. Feels brand new. I'm not going to screw with it. Where is the... Oh, there it is. Aha. So here's the needle bearing I was referring to. Remove pinion gear unit shims. Drill out the spring pin A with a drill bit of 12 thou. Remove the needle bearing. I like to make it sound so simple. I'll bet that's not very simple at all. So they want me to drill out looks like a roll pin. They call it a spring pin. Shit. Do we even have it? Yeah, I do have that. Son of a bitch. Well, I don't have another pin though. If I drill out that pin, it didn't come with another pin. Shit. Now do they think I have like little tiny freaking pins like that? Who's got little tiny pins like that? Alright, time out. Well, that was pretty funny of me. So, I'm correcting myself. It wasn't 12 thou, it was 120 thou, 0.12, right? Yeah. For some reason, I moved, or I put a 0 in front of the decimal. So, it's 120 thou. But, I don't know if I have the drill bit, and I don't know if I have another pin. I'm assuming you have to replace the pin after you drill it out and replace the bearing. Yeah, so this is the information. If you guys don't have the book, I will yeah, this is the front. This is the first 11, 16, I don't know if the first page. Yeah. Just so you guys have it. You guys are going to have the information I have and probably do a hell of a better job than I'm doing right now. Definitely faster because I'm slow as heck. Yeah, the shim thing, that's kind of got me concerned a little bit. I hope I have the right shims in there, and the backlash and contact of the pinion to the ring gear is real smooth and in the middle of it. That's the last page.